Hello everybody, how are we all doing? Today I will be discussing fear of fear and how it is the main driving factor behind your OCD suffering, how it is the catalyst of your suffering. Fear of fear is very sneaky, it's very subtle, it's very clever in how it operates. It can catch you off guard. So it's very important that we become aware of it and become streetwise to how it is operating. Now, I don't think fear of fear is covered enough in the mainstream world. Fear of fear is the driving force behind OCD suffering. The foreverness, the permanence. What as if I'm stuck forever? What as if I never get over this one? What as if I never get better and get worse and start spiraling and can't cope? Fear of fear is the main driving factor behind your suffering. It's very important to remember that. So, first of all, it's totally natural to have fear of fear. For all the people that I've coached, I don't know anyone who hasn't experienced fear of fear. Why? Well, because we all know what OCD suffering is like. We all know how it is to suffer. We all know the intensity, the severity of the OCD suffering. It's certainly not pleasant at all. And it certainly would be nice being stuck forever. So it's then totally natural to have that fear there, to be fearing the fearful cycle, the fearing never breaking that cycle and therefore remaining stuck. So you're not alone with that, but it's totally understandable as to why you're scared of it. Okay, so this is why seeing how it's operating, seeing the ins and outs of fear is critical. So over time, what we'll start doing in coaching calls is we'll start looking at the illusionary fear cycle and why you're scared. So the cycle that you get yourself in, the fearing the anxiety, the fearing being triggered, the fearing staying stuck, how your belief systems are around staying stuck, all the subtle compulsions that you may be doing, the constant fighting the anxiety, the avoidance based on how you feel, the judging your progress based on how you feel. All that resistance to the anxiety is all very subtle, all plays into fear of fear's hands. Okay, so we'll start looking at fear a lot differently. We'll start looking at all the symptoms a lot differently and just look at the OCD suffering in general a lot differently. Changing our relationship with OCD suffering certainly helps with fear of fear. It was the last one to go with me. Fear of fear really clung in there. It really dug its heels in. It really got its teeth locked in. I found it so hard to get fear of fear to budge. And you're talking years rather than months. And that's not me trying to scare you, it's just me being truly honest with you and totally realistic of what we are to expect here. That, fear of fear is a stubborn, relentless, I was going to swear then, but I'm not going to. It's very stubborn, it's very relentless in how it operates. It doesn't ease up easily. It doesn't just budge because you don't want it there. If OCD detects any sense of fear towards staying stuck or suffering, then fear of fear will dig in there. It will cling in and it will gnaw its teeth in, and that's what it would do. And I was terrified of it coming back for so long. Even when I made great strides in my recovery journey and made great progress, I was still absolutely petrified of OCD coming back and hitting me hard to a new theme, maybe an old theme resurfacing, maybe it would just morph and switch and just have a variation of a particular theme, a different thought, a different sensation, the severity, the intensity of the feelings. I was so scared that this one was going to haunt me forever, or this one means it was going to stay stuck and I never get over this one. So I was terrified of OCD coming back, which is, like I say, it's totally natural because when we've suffered, you're not going to be unbothered at the thought of OCD coming back. You are going to be concerned, you are going to be vigilant, and you're going to have to be vigilant towards it coming back. But it's the catastrophic view towards OCD coming back. You've got to be a problem, which becomes the problem because OCD takes orders from your beliefs. So if you're terrified of it coming back, then fear of fear will thrive. You're giving it the fertile soil that it needs to flourish. So it's all about changing our relationship with OCD, and even if it came back, how you're viewing that, how you're viewing the mental suffering, the mental struggle, how you're viewing, can you learn the lessons from OCD? Can you see, well, even if OCD came back and even if it locked on hard and it latched, What could I get from this? What benefits could I get from this? How can I see the world differently? How can I change my perspective on this? How can I use this to build my tolerance to frustration, to discomfort, to hardship? It's hard, and it does feel like you're scraping the barrel at times. We've all been there. But we've got to try and change our perspective and our philosophies towards life suffering, especially mental anguish and mental pain. So that's critical. So understanding how it operates, becoming wise to it and aware of it, because fear of fear will catch you off guard. It will sneak in there. And what I often say is that the fact that it's the main driving factor of OCD suffering, and it disguises itself behind themes. So when you have a new theme that latches or an old theme that resurfaces, quite often it's it's fear of fear with a different mask on, in a different costume, in a different outfit. It's just presenting itself via theme, you see. And what I mean by that is that a new theme latches, and it's not even particularly the new theme. So let's say sensory motor suddenly latches. It's not that the blinking sensation per se that scares you. It's not the breathing sensation or whatever the sensation may be with sensory motor. It's the, what is if I'm trapped with this one forever? The permanence of it. What if I never get over this one? What if this one means I cross the line? This one tips me over the edge. This is the one that I never come back from. And that's where the fear of fear disguises itself behind that theme, you see. Fear of fear hides itself in its sneaky fashion, and a new theme hits, and you think, shit, I need to dispute this theme, Okay, yeah, to some degree you do need to break down the fear behind that particular theme, but so much of it is just the fear of suffering forever, the fear of OCD always causing the shots, fear of OCD always playing a huge significant part in your life, and you suffering forever, and your life therefore ruined. You know, all those beliefs that you're holding is all part of the fear of fear cycle. Fear of staying stuck forever, fear of never getting better, fear of getting worse, fear of not being able to cope and completely spiraling. I had that fear hugely, you know, the fear of panicking, the fear of just being guilty forever, the fear of being anxious, mainly the fear of noticeable panic. And I'd sort of envision myself, you know, sat in a corner of a room, rocking back and forth in a chair, you know, I just so dysfunctional. What if I was in a mental hospital? What if I took my own life because it got so bad, you know, going down that path? You know, what if that was the only option for me? Oh no, God, what do I do if that was the only option? You know, it's the fear of it getting so bad that you're struggling to even function and to even get by, get through, which is a total natural concern. It's a very common fear, you know, because we all know what it's like to suffer from OCD, and we've all been through those bad days where we're just slogging our way through the day, and we've all been there. So, like I said, don't beat yourself up for then fearing the fearful cycle, but please don't think you're trapped in that forever, because there is a way over fear of fear. It's sticky, it locks on hard, it's stubborn, but you certainly can. It's very common, the last one to go on the OCD recovery journey. Now, just to explain it in a step-by-step of how it's operating. So, when you're triggered, quite often it's not just the X, Y, and Z which has triggered you. So it's not the thing that's just happened that's triggered you. It's not the thought you've just had that's triggered you. It's not the external event that's just triggered you. Not often. It's not solely just that. Quite often it's the fear of this one latching and never getting over this one. Like this particular trigger haunting you forever. Life never being the same again. Never being at peace with this one, and therefore your life being ruined forever. So never overcoming this one, and this is the one that haunts you. This is the one that holds you back and compromises your life for eternity. It's often that. Really think about that. Really think when you're triggered. What is the thing that's bothering you? Yes, the external event, so the thing that that fear of fear displayed itself with, maybe it's, like I said, a thought or an intrusive urge or a memory from the past, or a contamination trigger, whatever it may be. You can feel like it's that, but the main driving force is the foreverness. If this one sticks forever, that's it, my life's ruined. If I never get over this one, that's it, I'm done. My life will never be the same again because of this one. It's that, and that is why you feel so compelled to do the compulsion, gain certainty, get relief. That is why that feels so urgent and desperate, because you're so scared of staying stuck forever with this particular trigger, or this particular theme, this particular fear, this particular thing, whatever it is. It's the foreverness, which is OCD, and the fear of fear, which is really locking on hard. And this is why understanding how it operates, hence why we talk about it so much, because it's so often the driving force behind most emotional distress. Okay? And that's where it's the main catalyst to the emotional reaction. So when you're triggered, it's that the reaction, the panic response, the anxiety response is fueled by the fear of it being forever. So the analogy I often give to people is the blue pill analogy. Okay, and the blue pill analogy is that if I gave you this blue pill and I guaranteed that you were going to recover and that you were going to get certainty or get relief or whatever it is, and you were guaranteed to get what you want in a specific time frame. Really think about this. Would you still be as scared? Would you still be as triggered? Would this still bother you as much? And the answer is no, because you know that you would get better. I'm giving you that guarantee that you will overcome this, right? So all of a sudden, it doesn't latch as hard. Think what you're triggered by right now. Maybe you're watching this video and you're triggered and you're thinking, God, Sam, I'm so triggered right now. And I say, well, I can give you this pill and it takes away that emotion, right? It takes away that trigger sensation. But I don't give you a time frame, but you just know that this pill will take it away. I think you'll then stop doing compulsions a lot easier. I think you'll then think, okay, I better drop the internal control. I better drop the constant fight, because you've just given me a guarantee that it's going to go eventually. If I gave you a time frame, that'd be even better. If I said this is going to go within the next 2 weeks, you'd think, oh God, 2 weeks, but I can get through it. I've been through worse than that. 2 weeks. And I think you'd then drop the control. You'd stop the trying to solve. You'd stop the avoidance. You think, right, okay, well, Sam says 2 weeks. He's giving me this guarantee. Therefore, I need to last out for 2 weeks, right? So all of a sudden, the foreverness goes, right? Then all of a sudden, you're not as triggered. And then you're not as disturbed. So it goes to show there's so much fear of fear driving this cycle that you're in. So much of it is fear of staying stuck forever. Okay, you see? If I gave you something that took it away, you would then drop all control. You think, well, okay, I don't like how I feel, but at least I know it's going to go. So then the symptoms would calm, the emotions would ease, because you're like, oh, it's going to go. You'd have that guarantee. But it's the, what if I stay stuck forever? What if I never get over this one? Which really stirs up those panic emotions, that really heightens those anxiety symptoms, you see? Fear of fear is a fucker. It really is. And this is why it takes a little while for it to budge, because everybody is scared for it being there forever. It's something that everybody has been stuck with or stuck with now. You're not alone, but I'm just showing you the mechanisms of it, the components of fear and how it's operating. Okay, it's fear of fear that's fueling the cycle, being trapped forever. Look at all these different themes that may latch. So let's say sensory motor latches. Oh, it's the what if I'm forever trapped? Let's say ROCD latches. Oh, what if I'm forever trapped with this? I need to make a decision right now, because if I'm forever trapped in the sensation, I never get relief on this. Oh my God, I need to go. Make a decision now. Urgency, now. It's the foreverness. Because if I told you that your symptoms and ROCD will calm down in 3 months' time, you think, right, I've just got to ride it out. I've got to last out of 3 months and then I'm there. But it's the foreverness that you're scared of. It's the, oh God, what is it? This is for the rest of my relationship. What is this for the rest of my life? Fuck, I need to make a decision. No. That urgency heightens up, you see, because it's that fear of it hooking on forever, the permanence, the everlasting effects of this, you see. And POCD and harm OCD latches, fear of feeling guilty forever. I used to always do my compulsions because I was scared of feeling guilty forever. Checking just to make sure X, Y, and Z, because I didn't want to feel guilty forever. Replaying, I need to get certainty on this, I need to work this one out, just because I didn't want to feel guilty forever. If you said, Sam, don't work it out, you'll get relief in 2 weeks, I'd stop working it out. I'd stop replaying, because I said, well, 2 weeks, I've got to last out, and I've got certainty that I'm going to be fine, everything's going to be okay, and I'll calm down. But it's the, what is if this one haunts you forever, and this one has crossed the line, and there's no coming back from this one. No coming back. Your life's never the same again. It's that pulls you in to the compulsions. Any theme forever. Any theme. It's the forever anxious and stuck. Oh God, this one's gonna do me in. This one's gonna be the end of my days. You see? Very crafty. Unconditional life acceptance is going to be critical. How we view suffering in life, how we view injustices, how we view hardships, how we view adversity, how we view just mental struggle, how we view it. What are the beliefs involved? I shouldn't be feeling like this. I mustn't feel this bad. I need to know that I will get over this. I ought to be over this by now. I shouldn't have to go through this. This is unfair. It's terrible feeling like this forever. I really couldn't stand it. It would be so unbearable. What if I can't ever cope? What's the point? Life is ruined if I never get better and stay stuck forever. It's not just impacted, it's totally over. What's the point of carrying on? It's that extreme catastrophic thinking which is fueling the fear of fear cycle. Now, you're not trying to get into this utopian state where if you're stuck with anxiety and guilt and OCD forever, that you're throwing your hands in the air, dancing around, going, woohoo, this is amazing. Yeah, I love this. No, obviously not. Okay, but it's certainly changing the catastrophic thinking and not applying that pressure with those unrealistic demands on yourself to get better now. And I need it gone now. And putting those deadlines, putting the time frames on recovery, seeing it as a finishing line. Oh, I'm just going to run through the finishing line because I need it gone by my wedding day or by my holiday or by this occasion or by then. That is fueling the fear of fear because you're looking out like a meerkat looking out of its den. When's it going to go? When's it going to go? Oh no, it's still there. That taking that temperature in the morning, the anxiety and internal thermometer, taking the temperature. Am I still anxious? Is it just as bad? Am I still stuck? You know, it's all because of how you're viewing suffering forever. Okay, so just tweaking your perspectives on that, tweaking your philosophies on that is going to be critical. What are the common compulsions with fear of fear? Taking the internal temperature with the anxiety thermometer, meerkat looking out of his den analogy, which I always give, the constant on the lookout, whereas, oh God, I'm feeling anxious today, oh no, that can't happen, that constant fighting it, the constant checking how you feel, measuring feelings, very common, the resistance to feelings, trying to push them away, those repeated self-reassurance mantras, I will be able to cope, I'm a strong person, I will be fine, this too shall pass. Nothing inherently wrong with these statements, but it's always the intention and the frequency behind them. That's the problem. How many times you're telling it? Are you doing it for relief? Do you keep reminding yourself to get relief? You know, that's the problem there. That's how it becomes reassurance. You know, I often talk about internal surrender, dropping the weapons, allowing yourself to feel anything. No resistance to all these sensations. Drop the control, allow ourselves to feel any emotion. That internal fight back to push OCD away and push the symptoms away is drumming up the fear of fear cycle. Okay, we need to surrender, drop those weapons, try and welcome it in, and just as soon as you fight, OCD's got you in the corner. It's got you where it wants you. Okay. Avoidance of life until you feel a certain way, that's very common. Not leaving your comfort zone, choosing the safe and comfortable option until you feel better. Take that risk, take that chance, run the risk that you may never feel the desired way. Hey, not what you want to hear, but we have to take that chance and live our life as if that were real, as if you may never got your desired emotions back. We've got to run the risk that this could be the way forever. View OCD as terminal. If I said to you OCD was terminal, straight away you'd think, right, okay, I better stop trying to get rid of it. I better stop avoidance now because I've just been given a guarantee, I've been given utmost certainty that I'm going to be stuck like this forever, so I better get on with it. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but you'd have no other choice. It'd be very unfortunate, obviously. Wouldn't be great, but what other choice would you have? It's the constant trying to solve, constant trying to get rid, the battle, the internal battlefield that you're on to get rid of OCD is keeping it fused. Okay, we've got to try and see it as well. If this is here to stay, I can still work on my philosophies. I can still get absorbed by the project of working on my mental health. I can still get absorbed by that and focus on that and try to constantly improve my mental health. But OCD is here to stay. View it as terminal. Doesn't mean a lifetime of suffering. It just means that OCD is here to stay the course. It's here to stay for a lifetime. So you want to be coming to terms with that and changing our habits, our behaviors, our beliefs, our perspectives, our philosophies, and see where you end up. Stop doing it to get rid of OCD. You can't get rid of OCD, okay? It's changing our perspectives. It's deconstructing that framework that is currently thriving upon. We do that by belief, behavioural, and structure work, okay? Now, because this isn't easy and this is so hard, this is why I always highlight the need for consistency of working on recovery. You know, it's quite often where it can feel like you're doing well and it feels like you're doing better and you just sort of drop all the tools and go, you know what, I'm doing well. But fear is so stubborn. It's so relentless. It's resilient. It doesn't budge. Okay, so it's going to need a lot of work, fear. It took me about 2.5 years to start getting under fear fully. I've made great progress within 2.5 years. Yes, definitely. And so can you. You can make great progress a shorter time than that. 3, 6, 9 months, definitely. But fear locks on hard because we're all naturally terrified of OCD locking on forever, never getting better. it's going to take a bit more recovery work, a bit more disputing, a bit more help, that helping hand, that guidance to get yourself through fear of fear. Okay, but you're not alone, and there certainly is a lot of hope, and you don't have to stay stuck forever. You really can work on getting better. If you are interested in one-to-one calls, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com or message the WhatsApp group number in the description of this video, and you get in touch with us coaches here. My name is Sam. You have Rob, Nick, Momin, Elliot, and Gemma, and we can certainly help you and guide you through the fear of fear component of OCD suffering. Guys, take care. It's been great speaking to you all, and look after yourself. Bye-bye.